Guava cheese or Perad, as it is called in Goa, is a family favorite at Christmas time. This chewy guava cheese with a jelly-like texture has a hint of lemon flavor and is prepared globally with a bit of variation in the way it's enjoyed. Hi, you're watching Plating It with Wendy, where I share with you recipes which impress with ease. Now if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, share and comment, and if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button, and while you're at it, press that bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. Now, let's get started. To kick things off, let's start by prepping our tray. You have to have your tray all prepped because once the guava cheese is ready, it has to go right into the tray. We're going to be using a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan, and we're going to brush some oil on it. Just gently, a light brush will help release the guava cheese easily from the pan. And there you have it, our loaf pan is all ready. For this recipe, we're going to go in with 4 overripe guavas, and you want to choose those guavas which are yellow but still a little bit firm. And I always like to peel them, so I peel them and quarter them, and now we're going to go over the stove and steam them. Okay, now we're going to place the guavas on our steamer, and we're going to steam it on a medium-high heat until the guavas turn tender and the seeds begin to pop. This should take about 5 to 10 minutes. Now if you don't have a steamer, this could always be done in a pressure cooker, and you're going to pressure cook it just for 1 whistle. I steamed the guavas for 10 minutes and you can see that the guavas have nicely steamed and the seeds are all popping up. It's time for us to take it off the heat and allow it to cool before we puree it. The guavas have cooled down a little bit, so now it's time to puree it. We're going in with the seeds as well. After pureeing it, we're going to pass it through a sieve so that we get a smooth pulp and the seeds get separated. Just going to empty this before we do our second batch. And now let's add in the second batch. Now we're going to pass this through a sieve so that we get a smooth puree and we catch all the seeds. Now using the spatula, we're going to apply some pressure and pass the puree through the sieve. I'm satisfied with the amount of pulp I've got out, and we've caught all the seeds in the sieve. A tip here is to use a deep bowl while passing the puree to the sieve, because you can use it to rest the sieve, because this is a little bit of an arm workout. We're going to go in with 2 1/4 cups of guava pulp and 2 cups of sugar. Now let's go over to the stove and bring our guava cheese together. I'm going to be using a wide heavy bottom pan with a handle because it becomes easier to cook it. It cooks faster because the base is wider, and when it's ready, it's easier to hold it by the handle and empty it into our prepared tray. And now we're going to cook this on a medium heat, stirring it all the time. As the sugar begins to melt, you'll find that the mixture will start getting a little looser, but then gradually it'll start thickening. It's been about 10 minutes since we've been cooking our guava cheese, and the sugar has melted and the mixture has started thickening. To this we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. The lemon juice is going to prevent the sugar from crystallizing and is also going to give our guava cheese a nice tangy flavor. Now we're going to cook it while stirring constantly till it thickens some more. Occasionally you want to clean the sides of the pan and bring any of the mixture that is stuck on the sides to the center so that it all gets evenly cooked. The mixture is beginning to get thick. Make sure that you keep stirring it. It's been about 10 minutes since we added the lemon juice, and you'll see that the mixture has thickened considerably. Now we're going to lower the heat and add in 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter and just about a pinch of salt. You could even use salted butter, but I like to use unsalted so that we can control the salt. And to that, we're going to add a drop of red food coloring. And this is going to give our guava cheese that traditional color. Since I'm using gel color, I'm just going in for a drop. And now we're going to mix it up and cook it for about another 10 minutes, but keeping a close eye on it. Now we are almost there. We just have to cook it a little bit more till it starts leaving the pan. As you can see, the butter that we added in has given the Guava cheese a lovely gloss. We are almost there. It's beginning to leave the bottom of the pan. It's time to give it a test, so let's take it off the heat. In a bowl with cold water, we're just going to take a little bit and place it inside. And we're going to leave it in for about 2 seconds, and if it holds its form, we know then it's ready. Just going to check it and see it's all nice. It's not sticking to my fingers. It's holding its form. So now we're going to take it off the heat and put it into our mold. Now let's empty it into our pan. Just going to pour it out. Now using our spatula, we're just going to spread it down, get it into all the corners. Just going to apply a little pressure while doing this because the loaf pan has a pattern at the bottom, and I like the way the pattern comes onto the Guava cheese. I'm going to apply a little oil on the back of the spatula because this is going to help us get a smooth finish on the top of our Guava cheese. We've got a nice smooth surface to our Guava cheese. Now we're going to leave it on the counter till it comes to room temperature, and then we're going to cover it up and leave it to set for 2.5 hours. It's about 30 minutes since the Guava cheese has been cooling, and it has cooled considerably. It's just a little bit lukewarm. And we're going to cover it with a plastic wrap, and we're going to touch the plastic wrap right to the surface of the Guava cheese. And this is going to prevent any condensation because the Guava cheese is still a little bit lukewarm. And we're going to keep it aside and let it cool completely and set for another 2 hours. The Guava cheese has now cooled and set, so it's time for us to unmold it and cut it. We're going to take off the plastic wrap, and now using a knife, we're just going to lift it up and unmold it. And there you go, we have a nice sheet of Guava cheese. Now you could use a knife and cut it, but I prefer going in with a bench scraper. The bench scraper gives you the chance to put pressure from the top and get an even cut. And now we're going to cut these into 2 more strips each. Now we're going to go on this side and cut this into halves. Now you could either cut this into squares or into diamonds. I'm going to go in with the diamond shape. Now to prevent any wastage, I'm going to go in with 1 strip at a time. And we're going to cut the first diagonal. And then to form our diamond, we're going to cut it on a diagonal again. And then again. Oh my goodness, look at that. And now it's time to give our Guava cheese or Perad a taste. I'm going to go in for this one. Wow, it's so soft. It's so soft. My teeth just went through it like butter. And it's so full of flavor. I'm telling you, you've got to give this recipe a try. And if you want to enjoy it as much as I do, hop onto my website, platingitwithwendy.com, where you will find the full written recipe. Thanks for watching. See you soon.